Hello and welcome back. I'm Kylie Savage, Psychic Medium, and this is the weekly Oracle card reading, and it's for the week of the 23rd of March to the 29th of March 2019. Okay, we have here 4 cards from the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid, and I've picked one card for as extra guidance and to give us further clarity and assistance on the reading from the Work Your Light Oracle cards by Rebecca Campbell. Okay, this week our anchor card is Flexible. Our next right action, or our second card, is Yin. Our third card is Why, which is in the future possible outcome position. And our fourth card is To the Sea. Okay, and the Work Your Light Oracle card is Deep Replenishment, Retreat, Rest, Be Held. These are so beautiful, these cards. I'm just loving them. Alright, I don't know about you, yet I found this week that's just gone extremely challenging. We had the supermoon, which was a full moon in Libra. We had the autumn equinox. If you're in the northern hemisphere, you had the spring equinox. And we also had I'm not sure, forgive me if the pronouncement's wrong, Mabon or Modron or Madron, the pagan festival for the autumn equinox. And we've also been in Mercury retrograde, and we've had a lot of global and world events. We had Christchurch event just recently. We've had, in where I live, we've had a state election, and that Libra moon, oh my God, I don't know how you guys went, but what a roller coaster. I find Libra energies quite difficult to work with anyway, and I got the absolute classic Libra messages in my readings and my moon manifestations, which was like, give to others, give to yourself. Yeah, you know, Libra is the scale, so I had the one thing on one hand and something on the other hand, and really testing in relationships for, it was in my love and relationships house, so very, very trying and testing this week, and I really hope that you guys came through it a whole lot better than me and in much better shape. When I pulled these cards out, I looked at it and went, wow, this reading could just be for me. I apologise for that. I do always ask for how might best work with the energies that will be present universally. So this is a global, universal reading of the energies, which can also be a personal one. If you want to add your own personal cards onto this reading, I would recommend just drawing another 2 cards, and then you'll end up with a 7-card reading. So those other extra 2 cards from whichever deck you pull them from will make a more personal reading for you for the week ahead. Okay, Flexible. I really do love this card. This deck is amazing. I call it the more spiritual deck. We call it the Water deck. And if you really are interested in diving deep with oracles, I highly recommend it, because it just has so many universal and spiritual themes in the deck. It covers just about everything. And of course the artwork's just beautiful. Okay, Flexible. Whenever I see this in a reading, it always comes as a little bit of a cautionary tale, and saying, like, I always think of reeds, you know, the reed that bends in the river, you know, goes with the flow, won't break, but the reeds that, you know, stand firm in the mud and won't bend, they're the reeds that get broken. And we've got Flexible opposite To the Sea, and even these 3 cards, they're all talking, this card out here, they're all talking about how we can be more flexible, be in a state of receiving, letting go. It's a big, deep message for resting, recuperating, restoring our energy levels this week. So I feel like quite a few of you may have had a rough week just like me, and we're being given another week. We're being encouraged to just rest and pause like we were last week. So flexible as our anchor card. This is not the week to engage in big arguments and fights. This is not the week to force things, you know, to bend according to your own will. It's not the week to make really big, tough, serious decisions unless you can go into them with a mindset of flexibility, unless you can go into them with a win-win attitude. This is not the week to just hang on to your own iron will and force it upon other people. This is a week where we really need to go with the flow. We need to be flexible, and if we do that, our energy is going to be protected, and we're going to come out the other end of this week in much better shape. So I really do, this I really do like these cards. I really do like the message. It's asking us to, you know, pull back, retreat a little bit more within ourselves. We don't need to go out in the world in a very yang way this week and give the world a whole lot of energy. It's safe for us, and it's our best course of action to retreat, to be a little bit more introverted, to take care of our own space, to look at for our own needs first, to only give from the overflow of our cup, and, you know, just let other people worry about themselves this week, honestly. Yin, I love this card too. So many of us, especially women, we really struggle with yin energies. And I learned this in my business. I don't work very well with a yang Western style way of doing business. And I've learned that I needed to apply more yin principles to the way that I do business and the way I work with people. Because going out there and being rah, 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 and one lady I know who's a entrepreneur, she calls it sausage marketing, you know, doing the same route of sales and how you conduct yourself in business, all that stuff, it just doesn't work for me. I don't like doing it. I like, there's a movement called quiet marketing. I like more introverted, indirect ways of carrying out my business. And even doing something like this, taking the video, making the videos, that's a huge leap for me. So anyway, as I was saying, women often have a lot of trouble with this yin concept, because yin is about receiving. And love has two parts. It's giving and receiving. And this is a week where we really, really need to up the self-love, the self-compassion, the true self-care, which can be tough. It's not about pampering and indulgence. It's about true self-care, meeting our own needs, setting good boundaries, remembering to be flexible, and, you know, like really being mindful of our psychic hygiene, our energy hygiene, taking care of our own needs, making sure they're met first before we give to other people. Yin is like the very much about, you know, when you're on the plane's going down, you attach your own oxygen mask first, even before, you know, a mother would attach her child's oxygen mask. We need to keep the focus on ourselves this week, to take care of our own needs and make sure our well is filled up. This is what this card is saying as well. Deep replenishment, get the well filled. And Spirit's going to support us with that. Spirit has just this, you know, infinite supply of love and support and assistance for us. And if we set our course, they're going to jump on board and make sure that, you know, we reach our goals, and that, you know, things unfold for us in the best way. Okay, the why here opposite the yin is, this is something I really am challenged by as well. It's looking at our motives. So perhaps when we're being more introspective this week, we're being more contemplative and reflective, we might be upping the meditation as a part of deep replenishment. We might be journaling, expressing ourselves, you know, doing whatever we need to do to fill up our well. We could be looking at the why. So perhaps if we have been rushing around the yang type way, or if things have, you know, come undone the last few weeks and we've been really inflexible and things like that, we have to look at what we want out of life, what our goals and dreams and ambitions, everything are, what our desires are, and why we have them. And digging for the why is quite a process. And the why doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. Yet it's worth like doing the introspection and finding out what your motives are, because sometimes your motives can be very unconscious, they can be subconscious, and if you're not aware of it, these motives can be driving your decisions and the actions you take on them, you know, your thoughts, your words, your actions. These motives, these uncovered hidden motives can be driving these things, and you can be completely unaware of it. So this is a good week to live and examine life. Get the journal out, have a talk with a counsellor or a good mental health care practitioner or a good friend, someone that can keep a confidence, and do a bit of digging this week and look at your motives and your reasons for things. I also see why, whenever this card comes up, I also look at it the other way and say, if you're hanging on to a why, if you're overthinking this week, if you're getting caught up in global and world dramas or even dramas closer to home, and if you're asking, you know, why me, or why this, or why is that person doing that, that can really form a block. And it's not the most helpful question to ask. Why is a good question to ask when you want to examine your own personal motives in something. Why isn't such a great question to ask when you're just like coming out of a victim mode, like why me sort of mode. So look at both meanings for the card for this week and find out, you know, what part of the message applies to you or resonates with you. Now 7, to the sea. I think this is a little bit funny because this card for me as well kind of means being unanchored or untethered. And in a positive way, it means we just need to go with the flow. It's tying in with flexibility and yin and saying this isn't the week to ask sort of, you know, why are things the way they are. It's not really the week to get your answers to questions. Sometimes the questions are what needs to change. The question, we're not asking the very best questions. Yet what this message is saying is we just need to go with the flow. Maybe not question so harshly or, you know, so deeply about the why. Just know that it's about acceptance, really. Accept that this is the way things are at the moment. Doesn't mean they'll be that way forever. Still, and we need to take care of ourselves and just, you know, the world's not going to end because we're not running around doing all our usual caper. The world actually is going to be benefit. In other words, you and your family and the people you're in direct contact with, they're all going to benefit by you, you know, approaching your life from a calmer perspective with your well full. So to the sea is about letting go. It's about acceptance. And yes, we can feel anchorless in that. We can feel like we need to be doing something all the time. And yet the action we're taking is inaction, and it is for a reason. It's because, you know, perhaps we've run around, we've just exhausted ourselves and we're facing burnout. So the very best thing we can do is accept what is and let go. And remember, like we had the cards last week, there is a higher power, and it's my understanding and my faith and belief is that a higher power's in charge. You know, it's not Kylie Universe. I'm not God. I'm, you know, God as I understand myself, as God manifested as Kylie Savage. I'm a spark of the divine. Yet I'm not holding the reins for everything. I don't have to manage and control everything. We even breathe without having to think about it. There is something breathing us. Wayne Dyer used to say that. Something growing your fingernails, something breathing us, you know. Something's growing our hair. Something's growing our eyelashes. You know, there is a greater power, a higher power. There is an infinite wisdom. And that is going on, you know, sometimes unseen or behind the scenes constantly, which we're not in control of, and we don't need to be. So there may be some issues come up for us this week around control, around our motives, around our reasons, around self-care, around, you know, needing sleep. I've been reading Arianna Huffington's book Thrive, and it's excellent if you're interested in reading books like that. There's a whole section on sleep, and like if we're you know close to burnout, one of the first things that's probably come off our self-care is getting a full night's sleep. So anyway, I wish for everyone this week to feel deeply, deeply rested, to make sure your well is full, to do whatever you need to do, which is your self-care routine, to make sure that you are feeling calm and grounded and centered and revitalized. Your energy levels are replenished. Do what you need to do for you to show yourself that you love yourself, you care about yourself, you care about your life. Yes, we care about everyone else as well, yet we need to apply our own oxygen mask this week and make sure we're getting everything that we need. And then no doubt next week will unfold. We'll be out in the world doing our thing again. So blessings upon your week. May you all feel much calmer and totally restored this week. Do not feel guilty about any of your self-care routines that you need to put in place. And if you'd like to leave some comments underneath the video, that would be great. If you'd like to leave some feedback or tell me how your week was, that would be lovely. To get in touch with me, the best way is email. It's Kylie Savage Psychic, all one word, @gmail.com. I also have a website, Kylie Savage Psychic.weebly.com, and I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. So send me a message, let me know how your week goes and how you're finding these readings. Thank you so much for listening.